unfortunate fact is that the universe is in us.
Hey guys, Deal Games here, and I'm back with a very cool mod spotlight for you today, and that is the Biomes O' Plenty mod. Now you may notice that I'm staring down at the ground right now, and I will show you why. Alright, here we have our first biome, the deciduous forest, and it is just categorized by lots of big trees, fairly flat land, stuff like that. There's a nice waterfall over there, and another biome as well, which I'll be getting to in just a minute, and another one over there as well. So this mod is going to be fairly tedious to make a video about because it has 60 biomes, and I'm going to be showing you each one, not in depth, just a quick look at each individual biome. There are 60 of them. I think I may have already said that. But yeah, there's a lot of biomes in this mod. And there even appears to be a new type of mushroom here. Toadstool. Very cool. So we have new items, all kinds of new stuff here in these new biomes, and I'm going to be showing you each one, not going into detail about any of them, but here we go. Here we have an Alps mountain biome, otherwise known as Pig Haven. Next up is the volcano biome, and just right off the bat here I can see that we have two new types of blocks, including ash stone and ash. Our next biome is the mangrove tree biome, with lots of sandy beaches and water with mangrove trees. Who would have guessed? Here we have a savanna biome with lots of nice, relatively flat trees, flat lands, new flowers. Let's go ahead and check these out. Wildflowers. Again, lots of pigs. Pig havens everywhere. Our next stop on the journey is going to be this mountain biome, which looks very similar to the Alps, except it has these tall tundra-looking trees. They're actually different from the regular trees in that they sort of go in and out with the formation of the leaves. Here we have a thicket biome with some sort of strange looking trees, as well as these shrubberies. Let's see. Thorns. So I'm guessing if you were in survival mode and you touched one of these, it would probably hurt you. But the foliage here is very dense, so I think this would actually be a good place to hide out during the night. If you were lost or something, and it would be a good place to pass the time just because of all the cover that you would have from the trees. Here we are in an orchard biome, which is shown with this new type of flower, daisies, as well as these rather tall trees with logs going in all different directions. Looks fairly nice. It looks like it would be a good place to set up a home because it's nice and flat, and the color of the grass is very nice. A good looking biome. Over here with these excruciatingly green trees is Origin Valley, and I bet some of you can guess why it's called that. This is actually using a lot of the colors from Alpha. As you can see on the trees, they used to be very bright back then. It does look like we're just taking a step back and going into Alpha. I like this biome. It's very nostalgic. This right here is a really cool biome. It's called Ominous Woods, and this is something that maybe Mojang could have included in the Pretty Scary update. It looks very cool. I'm not sure if this water would be poisonous if you were in survival, but it almost has a very purplish tint to it. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Oh. Alright, so water's not poisonous, but it does give off a very scary feel. So let's go ahead and go back to creative here. Check out a little bit more of it. You can see we have these shrubberies growing on the ground. Those are just regular shrubs, mushrooms, and it looks like it would be a very nice place for a witch to spawn. So I'm not sure if the mod creator has witches to set up to spawn here, but that would be a really nice addition. The trees are a mix of normal and what almost look like the tall pine trees, but they're using normal wood and this purple leaf texture. Very cool. Here's a field biome, which is categorized with flat lands and just a few trees all around. Again, a very good spot to make a home because of all the flat land and the addition of trees. That's nice. It's way better than plains as far as getting resources goes. Here's a tropical biome with this new type of too tall shrubbery. It looks very good. Let's see, high grass. So I'm not sure what gives it its texture, but it's sort of a strange block because I can't get it in the creative inventory. We also have regular grass, which we're used to. Some very cool, dirty-looking green water, like there's algae growing in it. I think that's very cool. I believe this is just the default jungle wood texture, but the trees look rather different. They're sort of bendy and weird looking. We also have these new flowers and melon growth, which would be good if you wanted to go ahead and get some extra food. Vines on the trees, looks pretty nice. Some darker areas because of all the tree coverage that you have. I like this quite a bit, though I think maybe the trees could stand to be a little bit more dense. This is a Mystic Grove biome, and as you can see, it's pretty weird looking. We have these weird tall trees with what it almost looks like a pipe cleaner to me, because it's a long thin rod with the leaves on the outside, and then we sort of have these normal looking trees with a bit of a closer to normal texture, though they're still very weird, as you can see. We also have some scattered flowers around and a completely pink sky, which is again kind of odd, just like that ominous woods biome, because when you go over here, you have an immediate change to the blue skies. So I think, again, that's one of those things that could be done better. But overall, I think it's a fairly cool biome, and this would be amazing to hack down with timber. I think that would be so much fun. Alright, now we're brought to an oasis biome, which, as you can see, has some banana trees, which look very good, just using the standard jungle wood texture, as you can see right here. And then we have some very bright green grass, looks good. Some nice blue water. It definitely looks like a desert oasis. Very cool looking biome. We also have some cacti over here, so it's sort of like a merge with a desert, as it would be if it were a real desert oasis. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Now we have a frost forest, which is basically just like a regular forest, but with some overlaid frost, and I think it looks pretty nice. This is almost like a metallic texture for the leaves, and I think that looks fairly good. Sugarcane, that doesn't really belong here, though. I don't know why that generated. Very good looking biome. I think, yeah, it's pretty much just based around the regular forest, except with this new type of tree, some new textures. That's actually just regular oak leaves, so it's just a retextured biome texture. Retextured biome texture. Oh, read. The next biome is a boreal forest, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and it has some pine trees. There's a pack of wolves. Fairly tall pine trees with a few leaves at the top, and then we have this regular type of tree, only it has regular grass. So I think it's a good looking biome. Everything looks fairly nice here. Nothing too special about it. Next up on our journey through all the biomes is the lush swamp, which looks pretty much like a normal swamp, except there is less water, less horrible colors, and the trees are quite a bit taller. Looks like a fairly good biome because you could get more wood than you could in a normal swamp. You could even build a house on top of one of these trees, and I think it would look pretty nice. Have a nice vine ladder leading up to it. Nice biome. Alright, this is a knoll biome, and it has these sort of brown, weirdly textured trees, which have wood going all over the place. I guess it's sort of a strange biome. I don't really like this one. Not a big fan of the weird textures and just the way the trees are put together. Here's a stranger biome. This is called Heathland. It's got these trees with sort of weird bases, which then thin out and have a new type of vine on them. Willow. So I guess these are weeping willow trees. I guess it looks fairly nice. Some of the trees are sort of weird, though. I wouldn't want to live here, but it is just a cool biome to have. The next stop on the tour bus brings us to the wetland biome, which has this new mud block, as well as the hydrangea flower. Looks fairly good. Again, it's one of those things that you wouldn't really want to live in, but you could sort of explore in. I think it looks fairly good. Okay, here's one which looks fairly similar to a regular forest, except some of the trees are larger. This is just a woodland biome next to a volcano, as you can see over there, with a fallen tree. Sort of an average biome, nothing too special. Again, we have mushrooms on the ground, a couple more fallen trees. Fairly well put together. A decent spot for living. The colors are fairly nice, but not great. Next up is a fairly strange biome called the Promised Land, and it has these weird birch trees which are very tall. It's on top of a mountain. It has holes all over the place. I'm not sure where those go. Maybe they have tons of diamonds down there. I have no idea. But they drop sacred leaves if you silk touch them, which is kind of cool, or sheared them. The grass is fairly nice, and I think this would be just a cool place to have a home. It looks very strange, very cool. I like that everything is almost sort of chromed out. Strange biome, but like I said, a very cool place to live. I don't know what I like about this. It just looks awesome to me. Okay, here's a weird biome for you. This is the Quagmire biome, and it has lots of mud by the banks of the river, which is very brown and dirty, by the way. I guess somebody pooped in there. I have no idea. It has regular grass blocks, as you can see. Nothing all that special about it. Let's go ahead and get in the water. And you can see that this is just incredibly slow. You move through it so slowly, it's just horrible. I have no idea why you would ever want to come to one of these biomes, so just if you download this mod, make sure to avoid these because they are horrible. Don't come here. Here we are in a steppe or steppe biome. I'm not really sure how that's pronounced. It's spelled S-T-E-P-P-E. There are quite a few caves just along the ground here. As you can see, a little bit of sand, just plain grass, absolutely no trees at all. Lots of shrubberies, so the Knights of Saint-Denis would be completely content here. But not the greatest looking biome. I guess if you were working on a big building project and you wanted to do it in survival, this would probably be the best place to do it. This is a neat biome right here. It's called a temperate rainforest, and it has quite a few tall trees. It looks sort of like that mystical forest or whatever we saw before, except it's got different textures. I say it's essentially the same biome, but with different shrubberies, more sheep, and different textures. So, oh wow, this goes all the way up. You could just climb straight up there pretty much and live on top of there forever. Here's a biome that will literally murder your eyes because it's so freaking bright on my LCD monitor. This is called a mesa, and it has these weird little shrubberies called desert grass. Let's go ahead and check out this block. It's called red rock. I guess it is just rock. I can't really hear my game sound all that well right now. Let me go ahead and turn my headset up and see if it makes the new rock noise. I bet it does. Can't even tell very well. Come on. I have no idea. Anyway, we have some floating rock over there. Just a very weird biome. Doesn't really seem to have any uses. And I believe that's just dirt right over here. Yeah. Just some plain dirt. Nothing too special. It's just covered in useless red rock. Maybe you can make tools out of this or something. I have no idea. I didn't really check up on much more besides the biomes of this mod. This right here is a grassland biome, which just has some very nice looking flat grass. Again, one of those areas which you could build on very easily if you wanted to do a nice big project in survival. It seems like it would be a very good place to go ahead and build your structures. Everything around here looks fairly good. We're at a fairly high Y. We're at 70. So as you can see, it just drops right off here onto a beach. Let's go ahead and move on to the next biome. Next up is the redwood forest, which has some very thick, cool-looking trees. It would definitely be a timber paradise. You could collect so much wood so quickly if you needed it for a large project. It's sort of give you an unfair advantage. You could also live in the trees if you wanted to. Just go ahead and hollow one of those big ones out, and you would have a fairly nice area to live straight out of the start of your game. Here's a dunes biome, which is essentially rock covered in sand. It looks a lot like a mountain biome. Again, just overlaid with sand. Nothing too special. Very easy biome to make, I guess, for the modder, because it's literally just the same thing he had used before, but instead of snow, it has sand on top. Yay. Okay, so our next biome is the shrubland, and it is basically just a plain with some very large shrubs on it. Let's see. Yep, just one piece of wood inside there. And again, the Knights who say with knee would be perfectly happy here. Okay, so here we are back in a rather boring biome. This is called the bog, and it has some rather large trees, weirdly shaped with flat tops, flat bottoms, sort of go up like pyramids, and this disgusting murky water, which does appear very bog-like. I think the water was designed pretty well here. It spreads out really nicely. I like the way it merges with the other biomes. It's a little bit less extreme than some of the other transitions, though I still think the sky is an issue. Watch this. Yeah, that's not good. You don't want that happening. Out on the bayou. Yes, we have a bayou biome, and it's just got some weird stumps in the water. It's next to a temperate rainforest. Very darkly colored water. Nothing too special. Not the greatest looking thing in the world. It doesn't really seem to serve a purpose, except have these weird things and then have some mud on the sides. Yay. We are now vacationing in the tropics, and as you can see, we have these tall sort of banana leaf looking trees again, using the jungle wood, some bright grass, and let's see, what have we got here? Poppy flowers. Yay. Little cave in the ground there, kind of weird, but Nothing too special about this biome. I do like it though, just because of the amount of wood that you could easily gather, and just the sheer area that you have to build in. It would be fairly nice, especially with the timber mod. Now we're in the very clean looking meadow biome, and this basically just has a lot of flat grassy areas with, let's see, what are these flowers again? Daisies. Alright, so flat daisies, good looking grass. I like this biome quite a bit. It would just be a nice place to build just because of how colorful the grass looks, and how good the landscape would look if you were trying to build something very large, like some sort of big mansion. I don't know. Up on the mountains near the meadow is a biome called Sacred Springs, and it has a bunch of flat, weird-looking trees which you can travel across, which is pretty cool. I like the way this looks. It seems like it would be a really nice place to build something secluded, like a, I don't know, hillside treehouse or something. I think that would be pretty sweet. The colors look good, the grass looks good, but nothing special added or anything like that. Our next stop brings us to the marsh biome, which basically is just some dirt with water thrown in there. It goes down about 5 blocks, and the only real use I can think for this would be to build some sort of swampy, marshy house. I don't know what you could really do with this. It would be terrible for mining or doing just about anything, though I imagine you could build some fairly cool looking structures on here if you knew what you were doing. Here we have a fairly cool biome. This is called the Deadland, and it has blood red water, sort of weird. Let's see, nothing special about the water though. And this rock is, or whatever it is just ash, so it's the stuff you would find over at the volcano, and I'm wondering if this would actually hurt you if you were in survival. Then we have pits with lava down below. That would be an easy way to access diamond level. That's actually sort of nice if you were able to build a staircase down one of those pits. That could actually help you out quite a bit. Let's see what happens when we go to survival. Let's see. So we're not taking damage from the ash. That's a good thing to note. Alright, but very good looking biome. Red skies. Though again, I really wish some of these just had better transitions between biomes. Let me just show you that right there. That's pretty bad. That's not a good thing to have. But I guess the mod creator really can't do anything about that, so I should probably stop mentioning it altogether. Alright, now we find ourselves in a lush desert biome, which has whatever this stuff is. Red rock, again. Saw that in the Mars biome, or whatever that was called. We appear to have some shrubberies around here. Let's see, are we still in the same biome? Yes, so it goes from lush desert to river. And over here is a lush desert as well. So we just have some shrubberies slash tiny trees. Again, we get these desert grasses. Not a bad looking biome, though it doesn't really make much sense to me. Oh well. Sakura blossoms. Yes, this is actually a cherry blossom biome. It just has some weird trees with a ravine. That's definitely part of the biome. Couple weird trees with some weird leaf textures, cherry leaves. And then this is just the regular type of wood, so nothing too special about this. Let's see, I believe we've seen these flowers before. Yes, they're just daisies with this sort of oddly colored grass. Doesn't look too bad. I sort of like it. A neat biome. I think you could build some fairly cool Chinese temples in this biome, and they would definitely be enhanced by the colors around here. Okay, now we have found ourselves at a coast biome, which, believe it or not, is actually not in the vanilla game. Sort of weird, because we already have beaches. Why do we need a coast? But it's just a little grassy area with one tree. And I believe there are some other coasts over there. Awesome. This is the seasonal forest biome, which contains trees which appear to be of the autumn variety. Fairly cool, considering that we are now in late autumn, going into winter soon. So, I guess it fits the seasons. I think these look good. Let's see. It's just using the vanilla birch texture, and this is using the vanilla oak texture. Not necessarily a bad thing, and I believe this is also included in our seasonal forest, yes. And that's using our spruce wood. Fairly clean looking biome. You could build some, again, very cool structures here, so I like this one. What a delightful biome, using my favorite block. This is a crag, and it appears to just be this tiny little area here, which is all gravel. Let's see what happens. Does anything happen when I cause a chain reaction here? Nope. It is literally just gravel on top of dirt. Best biome ever. Here we are in the Badlands. The Arid Badlands, or the Nexus Badlands, I don't know. We're in Borderlands now. I'm going to go ahead and try to get to level 50. Let's see what I want to do. No, just kidding. We're actually still in Minecraft. That was a horrible joke. But it's basically just some sandstone and some of this block mixed in. Let's check this out and see what it is. Dry dirt. Yay. But this would actually be really good if you needed to go ahead and collect some sandstone. Because I hate tearing up deserts, and I think this would just be a much better way to do it. So if you're looking to do some building, this mod is probably for you, because it adds just such a high amount of resources to the game that you would have trouble collecting otherwise, which I think is nice if you're a big builder and you don't want to tear up your entire landscape to collect the resources that you need. You probably saw this just a few seconds ago and took a guess at what it is. Yes, this is the glacier biome. And we have some more crag over there, which I had noticed before, but screw the crag. Who wants gravel? It's basically just a ton of ice, which I guess is good if you need to silk touch ice for a big project, like making a very large highway. If you need to get somewhere quickly, ice is definitely the best way to do that, even better than minecarts, just because it's so much faster. But I think it's a good-looking biome. I wish it were a little bit smoother, because I think glaciers tend to be a little bit more smoothed out than this. They don't go like straight vertical in some places where I'm seeing, but overall, good biome. We've seen a couple types of rainforest, but this one is just called a rainforest, and it is a forest. I would guess it has rain on occasion, but it has all different kinds of trees, which is kind of nice. Very dense, so you could make some nice tree houses or hideaways here. I think that would be cool. The trees go up fairly high, and let's see, what kind of foliage have we gotten on the ground? Just some basic shrubs, and these. Poppies, more poppies. Gotta love those poppies. We've now come to the dead forest biome, which has a couple of these spruce trees along with a bunch of dead wood, dead shrubs, and dead-looking grass, so you could definitely amass some resources here fairly quickly as far as wood goes, and build some neat structures early on in your game. Okay, here's a weird biome. This is the fungi forest, and it has mushrooms and just trees filled completely with leaves and birch wood, along with some mushrooms. We've got both types of mushroom trees here, vines growing on everything. So, fairly cool biome. I think you could build some neat stuff here, and you could go ahead and get mushrooms, harvest those, all kinds of stuff you could do here. This is an icy hills biome, in which we get snow instead of grass, and ice instead of trees. Hooray! What more could you want? We've now arrived in a birch forest, which is essentially just a regular forest made entirely of birch trees. Next up in our epic journey is a wasteland, which contains lots of dried dirt, just like that one desert biome, along with some nice green algae-filled water, a few trees, well, I can't really call them trees, just stacks of logs, and that's just about it. Let's see. Is there anything special? Dead grass. Go crazy. Okay, here we go with the next biome. This is a reef, which contains lots of underwater shrubberies, coral, as well as some sponge. So nothing too special here, nothing that you could really use, because as far as I'm aware, sponge still doesn't do anything. Yay, useless biomes! Here we have an Arctic biome, which is essentially a lot of the same stuff we've been seeing. Snow on the ground, shrubberies on the ground, some big trees. They're sort of like jungle trees, only made out of spruce wood. Very tall, and the leaves go in and out. So I guess you could probably get a lot of wood from these using the timber mod. Next up is the pasture biome, which is just some weirdly colored grass with lots of shrubberies and weird looking trees. They're sort of bulbous, just with wood in the middle, and the leaves go all the way to the ground. So sort of a weird biome. I don't know what you would really use this for. You could make some pretty cool looking farms and stuff here, farmhouses, all kinds of stuff you could do with this, but nothing really too special that involves the landscape. Here's one of the most boring biomes ever. It's a tundra. It has ice. It has snow. It has squids. Next up is the Maple Woods biome, which is basically just some maple trees using the regular oak wood texture, and some red leaves. Next up is the Spruce Forest biome, which contains lots of spruce trees, both the 1x1s and the 2x2s. Nothing special really about the grass or the tall grass, but we do have some toadstools there. Fairly generic biome here. The trees are very tall though. Okay, next up is the scrubland. Believe it or not, it's actually not the same as the shrubland. It contains scrubs instead of shrubs. So here are some scrubs, here are some scrubs, and here are some scrubs with scrubs inside. And over here, we have some scrub water. We're getting really close to our final biome here. This is the chaparral, which contains bright grasses and a few very short bushes, along with a little bit of stone scattered throughout. I don't see any special flowers or anything around here, but I guess it would be a fairly neat area to build in. The second to last biome that we'll be visiting on our epic adventure is the highland biome, which is just basically very bright green grass with the 2 high grass that we've now gotten accustomed to seeing. Nothing too special about it, but I suppose you could build some nice stuff around here, as with a lot of biomes in this mod. Okay guys, it's been a long time coming, but we're getting to the end of the video here. This is the final biome of the mod, and this is the prairie. It just has some small grasses with daisies, I believe, yep. And these short little trees, which look like this. They sort of go out and then back in and then out again. Alright, so fairly average biome here. Again, very flat, and you would be able to get some resources here, so I think it's better than just the generic Minecraft plain. Okay guys, for the final addition to this video, I'm going to show you the crafting recipes that the mod adds. First off, 9 of these ash blocks will result in a coal, 9 cattails will give you a wool, a wildflower will give you 2 magenta dye, a hydrangea will give you 2 light blue dye, a poppy will give you 2 orange dye, and then 9 of these glow flowers will give you a glowstone dust. Finally, smelting a dirt block will result in the dried earth that we've seen in some of the biomes. There is that. Alright, dried dirt. Sorry, the cat wants to be petted really badly. There we go. There's our dried dirt texture. And that's pretty much all the crafting recipes that the mod includes. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. It was an extremely high effort video. Took quite a bit of time. I'd say maybe a couple hours of work went into this. If you could go ahead and leave a like, maybe even a favorite on this video, because it took a ridiculous amount of time to go through and find all these biomes so I could show them to you, and I tried to make the video as entertaining as possible. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you guys later. Deal Games signing out.